Welcome to the Ancient Art Gallery channel. Ancient Art Gallery channels presents good things about the British Raj in India. Subscribe to Ancient Art Gallery YouTube channel for more interesting and exciting videos right in your inbox. Like, comment and share this video. Also visit the Ancient Art Gallery YouTube channel for other videos. India's history is wealthy and diverse due to the distinctive mix of ancient civilizations, countries, beliefs and thoughts. To mention only a few, the attractions in Indian annals would do serious injustice to the other significant events that might appear unimportant, however left an enduring impact on the annals of India today. The Indus Valley Civilization placed the foundation stone of development and improvement in different towns like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. A great and long-term effect was made by the Maurya Empire, whose most famous king Chandragupta Maurya unified most of India. Chanakya was a favorite and well-known advisor of King Chandragupta Maurya, who gathered several literary masterpieces. With Vasco da Gama's success to find a brand new ocean path to India, the Portuguese put up trading posts in Daman, Diu, Goa and Bombay. They were soon accompanied by the Dutch, the British and finally the French. With the coming of the British Eastern India Company and the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the Mughal dynasty faded away, marking the start of formal British rule in India. The Indian Rebellion of 1857 sometimes appears as the first main motion against British Raj. The British Crown took over power from the Eastern India Company, progressively making India a colony, and controlled everything throughout the rulers of what was known as princely states. 1885 saw the birth of the Indian Nation Congress in Bombay, who played a huge role towards India's independence. In 1905, Lord Curzon's policy of divide and principle led to the partition of Bengal, which made large implications on Indian society. In 1920, steps toward Indian independence started with leaders like Mohandas Gandhi, who started mass movements against British rule. The main intention of the Britishers was to rule India, get as much benefits as possible from the country and its people. Most people think that the British did only harm to the Indian culture. They drained the Indian economy, they looted the nation. This is very much true. However, they also did some good things here. There are many benefits that the British rule brought to India. But one could argue that these so-called good things were only done for their own self-interested reasons. But one cannot deny that these things had a positive effect on the nation. Like railways were intended to serve only British interests, but it is proving useful to each and every Indian. The British rulers obviously took away a lot from the Indian economy, culture and people. In a way, they looted the nation. But as they say, with everything bad comes something good as well. We can't even compare the things they took away and gave us. But one should never forget the good things that happened to them, no matter who did it. So much so that their influence can still be seen in our day-to-day lives. Here is a brief account of what they passed on to us as a free nation. Before the British ruled us, India was nothing but a bunch of princely states ruled by various kings. The British Raj united all these kingdoms with treaties and alliances, thus creating the country that it is. No matter what you say, you can't deny the fact that because we know English, we have a global edge. The reason they taught English to the Indians was to have an ease of administration. However, this influenced the popularity of the regional languages. But whatever one says, English language opened the doors of the world for us. The language helped in improving our knowledge and thought process. It's all because of English that we could read and appreciate some of the most famous literary works of the world. They made Western education accessible to the masses. They brought postal services, Indian penal code, Indian civil services and judiciary system to India, because prior to that justice was at the mercy of the prince. Now amongst one of the largest railway networks, Indian Railways' founding stone was actually laid by the British. The founding stone of one of the largest railway networks in the world was laid by the British. Most of the central stations were the work of the British infrastructure. Indian Railways is very large and complex. It connects several distant regions of the country. It's the primary form of transportation. Dams, ports, roads, hill stations, town halls, parliament, they built it all. Thank you for discovering Darjeeling, Shimla, Ooty and Lonavala, but we would have done sooner or later. Improved medical and sanitation situation as they built the drainage system. British came to India primarily for trade purpose. They incited more and more farmers to grow cash crops and further added agricultural land, also introduced irrigation. They banned sati, untouchability, and child marriage, also encouraged widows' remarriage. Can't even remotely imagine how it would be if these practices still existed. Perhaps the biggest contribution of British in India was removal of social practices like sati, child marriage, untouchability. Not only they banned such cruel inhumane practices, they also promoted a widow's remarriage. Just imagine what India would be if such practices still existed. British passed many acts and ordinances to eradicate such social practices. Many social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy supported the British in the cause. The army that we are so proud of currently was formed in the British era. A lot of the army practices and etiquette still persist. The pride and honor of our nation, the Indian Army, was formed in the British era. The culture, discipline, and a lot of the army practices that still persist belong to the pre-independence era. During this time the export of cash crops, spices and textiles. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, smallpox spread as an epidemic in India, and due to lack of sanitary knowledge among the Indians, the British knew the situation could escalate quickly. They passed a compulsory vaccination act passed in India in 1892 to prevent smallpox. They also set up sanitary commissioners in the various regions to keep a check on the disease by setting up dispensaries. British started the census in 1871. The census is taken once in 10 years to collect the statistical data of age, gender, religion, caste, occupation, education of the population. As of 2011, the decennial census of India has been conducted 15 times. They set up the Department of Geographical Survey of India in 1851. The institution surveyed villages, cities, and made maps of India. Many places use the same maps which were made during the British time. Using many advanced surveying instruments, the British surveyed every inch of the India and created maps. We can never forget the atrocities they inflicted on us. We are in no way trying to say that it was good, but just trying to see positive side of that era.